Good morning, guys. In the previous class, we have seen the writable wrapper classes in Hadoop. Previously, we had what are the writable wrapper classes in Hadoop that we have seen. Before that one, briefly, we have seen what is writable interface, what is writable comparable interface. Those two interfaces we have briefly seen. Later, we have briefly seen about this one, writable wrapper classes. When we come to the writable wrapper classes, for every primitive data type in Java, there is a writable wrapper class in Hadoop. There is a writable wrapper class in Hadoop. Like this one, for Boolean, we have Boolean writable. For byte, we have here byte writable. For short, we have short writable, int writable. Float writable, long writable, long writable, come and double writable, double writable. Okay, if you observe here, char is missing in this one in the primitive data for the generally Java has 8 primitive data types. Out of this, here we have given only the 7. Char is missed here. For char directly, there is no writable proper class in Hadoop. Clear. The that is the only one thing here missed. Remaining all 7 Java primitive data types have the 7 writable classes available in this one. See guys, in the previous classes we have seen the writable wrapper classes in Hadoop. What are the writable wrapper classes in Hadoop? Okay, we have seen for every Java primitive data type, there is a wrapper class available in Hadoop also for the Java primitive data type. When we come to the Java primitive data types, we have 8 primitive data types are there. For Boolean primitive data type in Java, we have Boolean writable is available in the Hadoop. For byte data type in Java, byte writable is available in Hadoop. Short writable, int for int two are available. Int writable is available. V int writable. V stands for variable. That means this int writable is a fixed size one, whereas this is a variable size. It is similar to the char and varchar data types in our DBMS. Okay, they are similar to that char and varchar in our DBMS. So that for saving memory, we can use this V int writable. Next, float writable, long writable, V long writable. For long also, one more is available. That is variable, long writable, double writable. If you observe here, out of these Java primitive data, for every Java primitive data type, corresponding writable Hadoop data class is available. But if you observe here, one thing is missed. Okay, out of 8 primitive data types, here only 7 is listed. Char is missed in the list. That means for Java primitive data type char, there is directly writable class is not there. Writable class is not there. So for the Java char data type, we have to use the text class. There is a class called text, which is similar to the string class in Java. There is a text class is there. Directly for char, there is no data type at all in Hadoop. Okay, but for string, there is a class available in Hadoop that is called the text. Okay, to understand the text class, okay, to understand the text class in Hadoop, which is similar to the string class in Java, we want the basic concepts of encoding. Briefly, we want the concept of this encoding, then we can easily understand that text class. That's why today we will see the briefly see the concept of encoding. And tomorrow we will continue with our data types. Tomorrow we will see the text class, which is equivalent to string class in Java, that we will see in the tomorrow. For understanding that one, we will go for with this one. Today we will see what is this encoding. Did you have any idea about this encoding? What is meant by encoding? Regularly in the computer science, we are hearing this word EC people and CSC people are hearing the word encoding. What is meant by this encoding? See, when we come to the encoding is nothing but representing the data in from one format to another format is called encoding. For example, it is simply we can say that as a translation. Okay, there is a text, there is a data in English. If you translate that data into Telugu, that is called encoding. Clear? Encoding means translating from one format to another format, from one language to another language. That is called the encoding. Okay. See the definition of this encoding. Encoding is the process of converting data into a format required for number of information processing needs. Okay, when we come to the computer science, what is the definition of encoding means? It's the process of converting data into a format required for number of information processing needs. Okay, for the information processing systems, whatever the format understandable for the information processing systems, for converting the data into that format is called the encoding. Simply in our language, whatever the official definition, encoding means converting the data from one format to another format. Best, for example, translation. From English, we are translating to Hindi. From Hindi, we are translating to Telugu. That is called as the encoding. Okay. Generally, in our computer science, we are using encoding during the program compiling and execution. We are performing the encoding. Even though we know or unknowingly, we are performing encoding during program compilation and execution. See, when which language we are writing the program in source language, that is high level language, we are writing the program. Then to which language the program is converted at the time of compilation. After compiling, the program is converted into the machine language. Clear. For compiling and execution of the program, the high level language program is converted into machine language. From high level language, first it is converted to assembly language. Then from assembly language, it is converted to machine language. That means here the program is converted from one language to another language. That is nothing but the encoding. Regularly, we are doing this one, coding and encoding. Okay. Next, we want encoding for program compiling and execution, and also we want encoding for data transmission, data storage, compression or decompression. Okay. For data transfer, to transfer data, we want data encoding. For storing the data also, we want data encoding. For compression, decompression, for these things also, we want the encoding in the computer science. Clear? Next, also one more application where we use the encoding is for file conversions also, we use the concept of encoding. We use that encoding regularly in our life in program compilation and execution, in data transmission or data storage, or compressing or decompressing the data. That means zip files. We are using zipping and unzipping softwares. I think you regularly use. They are compressing the data and they are decompressing the data. They also use the concept of encoding and decoding. Clear. For file conversion also, we are using this encoding. When we come to the encoding will have the two meanings. When we come to the encoding, it have two meanings. In computer technology, what is encoding is conversion of data into an equivalent cipher. That means equivalent format. Converting the data, whether the data may be letters, symbols, or numbers. Okay, encoding is the process of converting the data to equivalent format is called the encoding. In case of computer technology, converting from one language to another language is called the encoding. And when we come to the electronics, easy people, what is encoding means converting analog signals to digital signal is called encoding. Analog to digital is called encoding. And digital to analog is called the decoding. Okay, encoding and decoding for easy definition in case of electronics. Conversion from analog to digital is called the encoding, and reverse is called the decoding. When we come to the computer technology, okay, the process of converting the data, which is a combination of letters, symbols, or numbers, to equivalent cipher text. That means another language is called the encoding. For example, your C program is in high level language, C language. Next, it is converted to assembly language. Next, it is converted to the machine language, and the output will come in the machine language. Again, it is converted back to the high level language. That means encoding and decoding. Okay, regularly for data representation, for implementing the encoding. Okay, in computer science, some codes are used for data representation. One regular code is the ASCII code. We know very well about the ASCII code. The second code is the Unicode. Clear? What is this ASCII code? American Standard Code for Information Exchange, Interchange. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That is the ASCII code. Regularly, we are using this ASCII code. You know very well. Along with ASCII code, one more regularly using code is the Unicode, Universal Character Coding. Full form of this Unicode is Universal Character Coding. These two regularly using. Along with these two, many other things are available. Many other codes are available for data encoding and decoding. But regularly, we are using ASCII code and Unicode, Universal Character Coding. ASCII is the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now, for our concept, we want the Unicode, not ASCII code. We want only the Unicode. So we will briefly see some points about the Unicode. Why? Because our text class will use the Unicode only. The text class in Hadoop will use the Unicode. That's why we are discussing only briefly the points about Unicode. Now, when we come to the Unicode consortium, this is the group of people who developed this Unicode. The Unicode and consortium means nothing but the group of team of people who developed this Unicode. Okay, the Unicode consortium developed this Unicode. Their goal is to replace existing character sets with standard Unicode transformation format (UTF) format. They want to replace the existing characters. We know C language has many characters are there, alphabets, uppercase and lowercase, digits are there, special symbols are there, white spaces are there. To replace all the existing character sets in the languages with standard Unicode transformation format. Unicode means universal character code. Okay, universal character code with the standard Unicode transfer format that the entire world has to accept. Their aim is the regular characters has to be transferred into some format which is accepted by the entire universe. That is their aim. Their goal is to replace the existing character sets with its standard Unicode transformation format (UTF). That means universally accepted characters. Okay, in English we have the capital A. So in the Unicode we want to replace that A with some character code which is accepted by the entire world. Universally they have to accept. That is their aim. Unicode transformation format. Generally, this Unicode standard is regularly where we use this one means it is used implemented in HTML, XML, Java, JavaScript, email, ASP, PHP, etc. In all these things, internally they are using this Unicode. Okay, it is a successful. Unicode was successful, and it is successfully used in many areas like HTML, XML, Java, JavaScript, email, ASP, PHP, etc. In all these areas, and also not only in these languages, but also in many operating systems and browsers, Unicode is used. Why? Because it is universally accepted one. Clear, Unicode is standard here is used in many areas. The Unicode cooperates with the is accepted by the many organizations like ISO, International Standard Organization, ISO, W3C, WWW. Okay, World Wide Web Consortium, ECML, like that. Many organizations are accepting this Unicode consortium. That means in the entire world is accepting this Unicode format. Many organizations in the entire world are accepting this Unicode. Okay, when we come to this Unicode, internally Unicode is implemented in different ways. Okay, most commonly used Unicodes are UTF-8, UTF-16. That means it is the 8-bit one. 16 means 16-bit Unicode. That means here, for example, if you take the capital A, that means if you take a UTF 16-bit means here capital A, if you take example capital A, In the UTF-8, okay, capital A is converted into 8 byte. Okay, 8 byte code. Okay, it will consist of 8-bit code. 8-bit code will be used for representing capital A. If you use 16 bits will be used for representing the capital A. Like that UTF-32 is also there where 32 bits are used for representing. Okay, when you come to the Unicode, it is implemented by using different character sets. UTF-8 and UTF-16 are mostly used along with this. UTF-32 is available, 64 is also available. That means to represent the, for converting the characters from one format to another format, they are using the 8 bits, 16 bits, 32 bits, 64 bits, like that. And one more thing is, what is the main advantage of this? Why entire universe is accepting this Unicode means? One thing is, one main reason is, okay, the ISO standard ASCII format is following ISO 8859. Okay, regularly we know the ASCII format, it is following ISO 8859. But when we come to that one ISO 8859, it has a limited size. It is not compatible with multilingual environments. That means the entire world contains many languages are there. In India, only official languages are 18 languages are there. Unofficial languages are many languages are there. Okay, if you take Telugu people, they want to write that they transfer their data in Telugu, but internally it has to be converted to the UTF. Okay, when we come to that one, I mean, the India has 18 official languages are there. Okay, if you take our normal ASCII code, that ASCII code will not support all the languages available in the universe. Okay, a lot of languages are available in the world. Okay, it is not supporting all the languages. But when we come to the UTF, it is supporting all the languages. It is a multilingual environment. That means, okay, the user data can be in any language. Like the data can be in Telugu, the data can be in Hindi. Like that. For example, in the WhatsApp, we are able to send the Telugu text. We are able to send the English text. We are able to send Hindi text, like that. While chatting, we are able to send our own language. Previously, at the starting stage, we can give data to the computer only in the form of high level language English. But nowadays it is accepting any language. Clear. The Unicode will accept the multilingual environment. That's why they are preferring this one. Okay, the Unicode can convert any almost all characters, punctuation symbols in the world. The Unicode covers almost all the characters available in the language. Characters means I already told you many languages are available in the entire world. Okay, the Unicode can cover all the characters available in the many languages in the entire world, and punctuation marks available in many languages in the world. Symbols that are used in many languages in the world. The Unicode covers almost all the characters, punctuations, and symbols that are used in the world. Okay, by using this Unicode, we can process the data. That means we can do work on the data. We can store the data. We can process the data. We can store the data. We can transport the data. Okay, we can transfer. For example, we can transfer the data means our text means nothing but we are on the WhatsApp chatting. We are sending a Telugu message from one person to another person. It is transporting. We can store the data. We can process the data. That means we can do work on that data also. We can perform analysis on that data by using this Unicode. Okay, when you take the HTML5, the HTML5 version is currently using the which encoding character encoding means it is using the UTF-8 character encoding. The default character encoding in HTML5 is the UTF-8. Now we want to see briefly. Lastly, we have to see briefly about what are difference between Unicode and ASCII. Already ASCII is available. Why the entire universe is preferring this Unicode instead of using that existing ASCII? Okay, see the differences. ASCII is an 8-bit encoding, while Unicode is a variable bit encoding. One main difference why people are preferring Unicode instead of ASCII is ASCII is just 8-bit encoding, while Unicode is a variable bit encoding. All I told you, Unicode is available in various bits: 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit, like that. Okay, ASCII uses the encoding scheme used by ASCII is only 8-bit encoding. Whereas Unicode you can use 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit, 128-bit like that. That's why Unicode is preferred. Okay, since Unicode is a variable with encoding, it can support almost all the languages in the entire world. Whereas ASCII can support only some level of languages in the world. Unicode is just standardized, whereas ASCII is not. Why? Because okay, the second difference is Unicode is standardized. Why? Because Unicode can represent any character in the entire world. Okay, in the entire world. That means we can convert the French data to Telugu data. We can translate our Telugu data to French data. Like that, Unicode is standard. Any character in the entire world can be represented by using this Unicode, whereas ASCII will not. Okay, Unicode represents most written languages. Whatever the written languages, those languages which have script in the world, Unicode can represent most of the written languages in the world, while ASCII does not. Why? Because ASCII is a 8-bit encoding, whereas Unicode is a variable bit encoding. And also, all the ASCII code can be represented using Unicode, but all Unicode cannot be represented in the ASCII. Okay, all the ASCII values can be represented in Unicode values, but all Unicode values cannot be represented using the ASCII code. These are some major differences between Unicode and ASCII code. So Unicode is the encoding technique used for representing the data. Clear. When we come to our Hadoop also, Hadoop text class will also use the Unicode. That means whenever we given the text string, that means in our Java we call it as a string. In Hadoop we call it as a text class. Whenever we given our data to the string or text, internally it will convert the data into the Unicode format. It will convert the data into the Unicode format. How it will store the data text means it will store the text in the form of the Unicode format. Tomorrow we will see about this class text. What is this class text in Hadoop? What are the important methods available in this class? That we will discuss about that one briefly in the tomorrow class. Okay, this is briefly about this one. What is this encoding? Okay, what are the codes available for data representation? But briefly some points about the Unicode. Okay. Tomorrow we will discuss about our actual topic, that is the text class in Hadoop, which is equivalent to the string class in Java. That we will discuss about this one in the next class. Clear. Thank you.